Hey guys, Joe Sherwin here, Magnet High School. Just showing you how easy it is to use Nearpod in your classroom to sort of enhance or bedazzle your presentations, whether they be PowerPoint or Google Slide or any other sort of presentation format that you may use. So first thing you want to do is go to nearpod.com, which I'm at now. And very simply, the next thing you do is log in. If you're a Caddo Parish employee, you already have a login. Just use your Google credentials to log in and you should be good to go. So now that I'm in, you can see that I've already created a few presentations already, including the PD that I've shown you guys today in the library. Now, if you look over here on the left, you have some other cool things, like you can actually look up lessons that have already been created from the Nearpod team. They have a pretty good academic team of creators who've created some pretty cool lessons. So we've got our school library. We have our district library. If we just click through those real quick, you'll see that I think the only one that I currently have is the one that I've shared for Caddo Magnet High School. Now, if you look at the district, you may have some more. I haven't looked here before, but we'll see what this has to offer. This program is been around for a while. It's just now Caddo has offered to pay for it, and so it's really neat if you do use presentation software or videos, whatever else in your classroom. So we're going to go back to my selection, go back to my library. And I'm going to show you just how easy it is to upload your current presentation. So what I want to do is I want to just grab one of my presentations I've used in the past that has worked well for me and just kind of jazz it up. So I'm going to go for create your own. I'm going to go to create lesson in Nearpod down here. And it's going to open up a new window. And I can upload files down here at the bottom. Very simple interface. And I'm going to upload from my computer. I'm just going to search my Dropbox and see if I can find it. So I'm going to do one on the Bolshevik Revolution. See if I can find that. All right, bam, there it is. So this is one I've used in the past. It's been sort of a tried and true presentation that I've used for students to explain what the Bolshevik Revolution was. And so apparently it's processing. You see that down here. So it shouldn't take very long before it all kind of pops up here. Pretty neat. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to use Nearpod. So pretty cool idea here. A Nearpod platform that you can use. So this may take a second. It's not a very large PowerPoint, so it shouldn't take too long. But then after I've uploaded it, I'm going to show you just real simply how you can sort of bedazzle it, how you can add student engagement to these presentations. And there we go. Okay. So you can see that in this particular slideshow, I've got 14 slides. So now I want to add some student engagement. You know, this is just basically content. So simply, I'm going to go to add slide. And then what I want to do probably is I want to sort of see what my students remembered from last time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an activity and I'm going to add matching pairs just to see what they remember. And I'm just going to do a few of these so you guys can see how I do this. But basically, I'm going to say, okay, match each World War I pair or term with its description. All right. And so down here, you add pair, very simple. I'm going to say a Zimmerman telegram. What was the Zimmerman telegram? Well, that was a message sent to Mexico from Germany encouraging Mexico to join the war against the U.S. Okay, so I'm going to add another pair. Okay, then I'm going to say, what's another one? Lusitania. What was a Lusitania? It was a British ship that was sunk by a German U-boat, killing over 100 Americans. Okay, and just for our purposes here, I'm just going to say done. You could do a ton of these if you'd like. I wouldn't recommend doing more than say 12 or so. You can also add a timer. You can see that up here on the right side. I'm going to say for this activity, I would probably give them 2 minutes or so because I'm going to have probably 12 or so pairs for them to match. Just kind of just a fun little game. And then now I can go to either preview or save. I'm going to go to save. And so that's going to put an activity now in my slides. Now, it's going to put it down here at the bottom. And I'm not sure why it always does that, but that's okay. You can just simply move it to where you want it to be. Okay, so the next thing, let's add some more things to increase student engagement. I want to add something after I talk about red being the color of the communists. So I'm going to add something here. I'm going to go to Add Slide, and I'm going to go to Add Activity. And it may not be Add Activity. I don't think it is. Maybe it's Add Content. So I'm going to Add Content. And I'm going to go to Field Trip, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I'm going to add a field trip one. So what would be cool to look at? Well, maybe Red Square in Moscow. That might be kind of cool. It's pretty nice architecturally we could look at. So let's look that up and see if we can find a cool picture. These are 3D pictures that your students can either on their phones or their Chromebooks they can just look at. In history, I've done battlefields, I've done cemeteries, I've done other things that you can look at. So it may not work for your particular content area, but it's kind of cool. So I'm going to look at Moscow at night. I think I've previewed this one, but I'll preview it just to make sure. We've got the Kremlin somewhere in here. Churches. This is Red Square. So kind of cool. So I'm going to hit done, and then I'm going to, that's been added now. And of course I want to drag that to wherever I'm going to put it. I'm going to put that here. So let's add something else. Let's go to Origins of Communism. We already talked about where communism started. So why don't we add one more thing here? This is the cool part. It's like adding open-ended questions. This is probably the best part. So let's see, it's either add content. It isn't, so we'll go to add activity. So let's now go to open-ended question, okay? So add open-ended question, and you can do this in two different ways. You can add an open-ended question, I think, which is a neat way to do it. So you just basically add your question here, and then students it'll show up on this in the presentation. It'll show up in a list form. Who said what? But I want to show you a different one too. I keep forgetting there's another way to do this. I'm going to cancel this. And to simply get rid of slides, you just click on them and click delete if you want to. But I wanted to add something else. I'm going to add a slide. And I'm going to go to add activity. And instead of open-ended question, I like collaborate. That looks kind of neat. Just the way it looks is better. I'm going to say, this going to be like a think, pair, share thing that you do on paper. Instead, now you're doing it digitally. So what this is why is communism such a concern for America? All right. And so this would get students to actually think about, why is communism? Do they understand what communism was and why that would be a threat to the American way? And so you can change your formats down here, how it will appear. And basically when you do this in the presentation, it will show up as little pins on a board. And you can approve these ahead of time before you allow it to pop up on the screen. The students can like each other's suggestions, commentary. It's kind of neat. You can delete ones that are inappropriate, and they can try again. So it's pretty cool. So let's add that. That's a way to increase engagement. What's something? Oh yeah, I'm a big video guy. So maybe there's something I want to explain on, like, why this is such a big deal. Well, maybe I can add a video. Well, instead of having to flip through my files or go to YouTube, I can add YouTube videos right here. And so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go to Add Slide, Add Web Content. And I've already have a video chosen. This is a video from a guy we use in history called Hip Hughes, who explains history to us very easily. And so now I'm going to go to paste that into my spot here, save it, and it's going to incorporate the video. And so the last thing I'm going to do, and then I'll run through a little preview of this, is I'm going to add one more piece of engagement, which the kids really like, which is called time to climb. This is great for assessments or maybe pre-assessments. So what do they remember from last time? So I'm going to go to Add Activity, and I'm going to go to time to climb. This is really fun. This is kind of like a Kahoot, if you're into Kahoots or Quizlets. It's just basically a test. So if I were going to test my kids, we have up to, I think, 5 questions, maybe more than that. But you get 4 choices you can choose from as far as answer choices. Real simple interface. I'm going to say, okay, who was the father of communism? Okay. And see if my students paid attention. Is it Vladimir Lenin? Is it Joseph Stalin? Is it I'm trying to think of other names. I don't know any of the Russian names. I'm thinking of some. Khrushchev. I spelled that wrong. I apologize. Khrushchev. Is it Zangief from Street Fighter? If you guys know that reference. I don't know if you do or not, but I'm putting it there. Anyway, and so you click on the right answer. Of course, it's Vladimir Lenin, and you can do, I think, up to 5 questions, maybe more than that. I'm going to hit save just for our purposes. I'm going to put it right there. You can also add images, things like that. So now I'm going to, let's see, I've added now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to engage students in a PowerPoint that normally was just content driven. So let's save and exit. And now you can do your details. I'm going to say Bolshevik Revolution. Can't spell today. And you need to add grades. I'm going to just say 11th grade, subject, social studies. And you can also tag it. You might put like Caddo Magnet in there if you want to. You can also just add it to the folder. So I'm going to say save and exit. And now I'm going to just show it to you. So now it's here. You see Bolshevik Revolution. I have a live lesson, which I'm ready to show my kids and have them get engaged, or I have a student pace one, same thing, student engagement, it's at their pace. So if they need to go back and look at a slide for notes or whatever, or extra help, they can do that. But for now, I can either go back and edit it, I can start the lesson, or I can preview it. And I think I'm going to preview it just to make sure it looks good. There's so many other things you can do to increase student engagement, but you don't have to get lost in doing that. Just pick a few that you like, okay? So here's got the match each World War I term with its description. This little blue arrow shows you to get rid of the answer choices. And so let's see, British ship sunk by, blah, blah, blah. And you can, of course, have more. So that's how you preview. Hey, I got it, okay? And what you'll see on the screen is, who's doing it well, who's not getting it. Can preview, and then we start our presentation. We're going to hear about Vladimir Lenin, blah, 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 blah. This is my PowerPoint that I made back in 2012 that I've uploaded now, and it has more student engagement. Okay, so we're getting a lot of content, getting a lot of content, and then bam, now we have some student engagement. Now we have red square, which taking a break from the notes. We can look around. Okay, we can zoom in a little bit to kind of see what red square looks like today. We wouldn't have a red square if it weren't for the red revolution. So it's, it works sometimes. Sometimes a virtual filter would not work for your class. Okay, so now we're back into presentation, more information, okay, talking about all this stuff. This is what I would normally do, but now I can make it more engaging. So why is communism such a concern? So I can type some ideas here. Because it is a sense of control and Americans value their, I cannot spell, guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, value their freedom. I'm going to post it and it should pop up. So I can go, oh yeah, that's I love that. Okay. Or if it was something stupid, I could have X'd it out from my end. So students jump in here and collaborate. So this whole board can be filled up with collaborations and answers from students. This is really good for students who normally wouldn't answer out loud. Okay, so that's another engagement piece. Let's move on. This, I think, is going to be the video. And so the video, and he goes on and talks. But what's cool about this is you can make sure the video only plays on your screen. It won't be playing on the student screen. You can imagine how much chaos that would have if everyone's playing a video at the same time on a Chromebook. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Add the video wherever you want. And the last part, of course, is I think time to climb. This is the student's favorite. I normally save this towards the end. So what you see here, these are just the questions. When you actually see the right interface, what you saw at the PD, it really does get students engaged. They really do want to get their avatar to be at the top. Okay, so that's all I had. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know, or Ms. Youngblood, if you have any questions. I think if you use presentation software like Google Slides or PowerPoint, you'll have a great time using Nearpod. Okay, and that's it. Have a great day.